My name is Greg Hintermeister, and I work in the Cloud Engagement Hub at IBM. And one of the things we do is try to communicate some technical detail for clients that are looking to accelerate their cloud journey. One of the details we like to show is how integrated Red Hat OpenShift can be, integrating with all kinds of environments from Git repos and build pipelines to image scanning and logging and monitoring, secrets management, and the whole thing. So in this demonstration, we're going to go through exactly that. Basically, the flow is we're gonna live in OpenShift. I'll do a little bit of exploring for you to set where you are. We're going to look at the eStore application because that's what we're going to be using throughout this self-paced demo. We're going to see the source code in GitLab. We're going to do some building of the eStore UI microservice. And then we're going to look at Twistlock and how it scans images, and do a little demo on breaking or causing the scan to break the build, and then fix it. We're going to look at the signed certificates, how our eStore just kind of automatically brings in the signed certificate and uses it. And then we're going to talk about how we manage secrets, and we'll use Vault for that. We'll talk about how we're integrating with New Relic, and then run a simulation so we can show some interesting graphs in New Relic itself. So there we go, and let's get going. A couple things of note: you can live in the administrator view or the developer view. They're kind of modes of switching into what role you want to play. I'll be spending most of my time in the administrator view because it shows us how to work with operators, all the workloads we're going to be looking at in this environment. Across all the projects are here. And then we'll be doing a lot of work going into networking and looking at the routes for the projects. And then on your own time, feel free to go into the builds, the monitoring, look at the dashboards that are all built into OpenShift. Look at the compute you have set up, and so on and so on. But a lot of that was taken care of in earlier demos. Now, I will spend a bit of time in the developer view as we look at the application and things like that. So that's just to get you oriented into OpenShift itself. As a note, if you want to do command line entry, you're going to want to go to your login and copy login command. And when it brings up, you're going to click this display token because it's going to give you a unique identifier to log in. There you go. So we got the display token. I'm not going to click it because it'll show you how to log into my my account. But that's how. And then you copy that command into your terminal, and off you go. So let's look at the eStore application. In the demo book, you're going to see some additional content, but just to see it in action, I'm going to go to the networking, go to routes, and of course there's a bunch of things running. So I'm going to filter on eStore, and in the eStore UI, you can click the location link, and that brings up the route UI. The default is to show the application runtime. So just as for a simple thing, type in eStore/login, and then you're going to get to the eStore application. Now it's a good application, but I find it actually more interesting if we go back to OpenShift to look at eStore from a developer view. So I'm in the topology, and you can either scroll down to find the eStore project, which is here, or you can do search. But if I click the eStore project, now all of a sudden I get something pretty interesting. So I can see all the pieces that make up this eStore application. We're going to be focusing on the eStore UI quite a bit, and there's a bunch of builds that have happened, and so on and so on and so on. So, but our focus today is how we integrate with other content. And so now that we've seen this topology, we're going to go to GitLab. And so I'm going to, in general, I'll go back to my administrator view, get to networking, routes, and go to all projects. Now I've pre-done some of this on top, but if you're coming from scratch, just type in GitLab, hit unicorn, and log in. It's going to open this UI. And so this is all your projects. This is what you're going to be using. Yours might look different. We have a couple other crazy things in here, but this eStore UI is the Git repo that has all the source code, and we'll look at that over time. Just to get a feel for it, we can go to CI/CD, and so as a point of reference, and I'm sure you're more familiar with than anybody. You pick the repo you want to work in, and you can work with your source code, or you can work with your pipelines. And so with eStore UI, of course, we've built it many, many times. And I'm just going to click to run it again so you can see it in action. And when you do this, you're going to see that it's obviously it does some pre-checks, and then we're going to do build using Maven and so on and so on. Do some unit testing, and then we're going to use Twistlock to scan the image and then deploy it. And actually, for kicks while that's running, if I go back and looked at a one that did run, this is part of the demonstration. Just go into each step and explore what's happening, explore how we're doing the builds, some of the details about it, explore the how we're building the unit tests and the success about it. And if you want to actually go into analytics and the CI/CD, you're going to then see all kinds of good information on what has happened over time with, in particular, this is the eStore UI. You can see progress, successes, and failures, and just get familiar with it. In our work, we're going to be focusing on the Twistlock, the image scanning. And so this is running, and what you're going to see in this, and I'll show the one we just kicked off just to show it's real, but you're going to see in the image scan that we did a bunch of scanning, that it was deemed as passed right here, and then it's going to continue on and push the content out, and I'll show you why that is in a second. Okay, we're back. And just for clarity, I did pause for time. So as we showed in the previous one, this scan is done, and we can see that it did pass Twistlock scan. Now you'll notice it did find some some issues, but in this example we chose to just be more of an inform. But now let's go back to Twistlock and actually show it running. And so now I'll leave this to deploy into the environment. But now let's go into Twistlock. So again, I'm going back to my routes under all projects, and I'll type in Twistlock console, and I click the URL, and I've already done it because I wanted to log in and have it already. When you bring it up, you might need to log in for the first time, and it's probably going to show up under radar or something. So go to monitor, vulnerabilities, and when you hit vulnerabilities, click images and CI. And so here is all of the scans we've done, and you can certainly select one to find out what's wrong with it. Now, by design, we've added some issues to make it more interesting in this environment. So you can see the vulnerabilities, the compliance, and some details about it, and so on. What we're going to do is actually change how Twistlock behaves. And so we're going to go into defend and go into vulnerabilities, and again go to images and CI, and you'll notice that we've not activated the make it fail, and so we are going to do that right now. We're going to enable this rule, which will make it fail. Okay, so now that we've enabled this, we're going to go back into the pipelines and actually run the pipeline again from the beginning. I could certainly have done a restart on scan image, but just to simulate what's going on fully, we're gonna rerun the pipeline. And so again, it'll go through the pre-check and the builds and the unit tests and the scan and the deploy. And this time, it won't actually get to the deploy because the scan image, knowing we have errors in the image, will kill the pipeline. So I'll pause and we'll come back when the scan has completed. Okay, we're back. And it looks like it failed as we expected. So again, if we click into the scan image, scroll to the bottom, it says, there's a bunch of failures in the actual Twistlock. So that's good. And so there, and if I actually go back to Twistlock itself, and I go to monitor vulnerabilities, again, hit images and CI if you don't have it, you're going to see that it did fail. That the scan status has failed, and and because of these same issues. So now you can kind of see how OpenShift integrates into with its own pipeline that we have from GitLab into Twistlock. Now, I recommend that you do it, and I'm going to do it myself. Go back in here and disable this, so when the next person comes along to run the pipeline demo, then it'll work for them. So I'm just going to kick this off, and then we'll be set for the next time. Okay, so there's Twistlock. So if you scroll down, then the next part is, okay, now if we have it all successfully deployed and the image scan is successful and it's all running in OpenShift, and you see, I can show you here, go to workloads, deployments, and go to eStore. So if we have all this running, now the question is, well, how does it integrate with with digital certificates? And so really the simple way to show this is, in this eStore app, I just simply click and the certificates it's a signed certificate. Now this one will be different than what you have. This is running on IBM Cloud, and we've configured this cluster to use this certificate for us. And so you can see all the details if you want on your own browser, that it inherits and pulls in the signed certificate as you need. Now, if you want further detail, we have techniques on how we can show you to use a custom URL, custom domain, and add that signed certificate as well. So that's really all there is for this digital certificates. Now let's get into managing secrets. And so again, I'm going to go to my OpenShift environment. I'm going to go to networking and routes, go to all projects, and just type in Vault. And you'll see we have a Vault running as you do. Click on the location, log in with the credentials you've set up earlier, and you're going to see something like this. Now, why do we need Vault? Well, it's pretty simple. So if I'm going into OpenShift and I see I want to go into my Kubernetes environments to see Kubernetes Secrets, I go to Workloads and Secrets. I type in Redis. Here we go. And I go to Redis Product Store. And when I select that, I'm going to see the secret, key value pairs down below. And what's the default for Kubernetes is just a base 64. So if I hit Reveal Secrets, here it is. It's not much, it's not very good. It just exposes it. And so what we really want is a fully encrypted secret management tool, and that's what Vault provides. And so to show that we're actually using Vault, we're going to go into the let's go to workloads. We're going to go to deployment configs, and we're going to search for, I should go to all products, and we're going to search for catalog DB service. And there we go. Then we're going to click the one here. And then in the YAML file, what we'll do is we'll search for Vault, and you find a bunch of entries. So these first ones are injecting the agent. We don't want to mess with that. What we're going to do is just mess with how we are integrating with Vault. And so if you keep scrolling down, you're going to find this HashiCorp inject true. So this is the one you want to. I'm going to copy it into my clipboard. For the demo, we're just going to put a pound sign to comment it out. We're going to hit save. We're going to hit reload. And what reload will do is it'll restart the pods. So if I go over here, it's terminating the old pod and it's going to start the new one. So I'll wait a little bit for that. Okay, so now it's creating. Oh, and there's an error. So surprise. So we're actually going to find out what the error is. So if I click into the pod and go to the logs, we're going to see that, okay, it can't find Vault. There should have been a mounted file system for this container to actually look at that secret to find the secret content. So now we're going to go back to it, and if you'll notice, we've got secrets DB is exactly the flow and secrets DB that we have here. And so now we're gonna fix it. So we're gonna go back to deployment configs, catalog DB service, go to YAML, and it was around line 200 or so that we saw that. And you'll notice it just takes it out. So it doesn't like to keep comments in the running environment. And so I'm just find the same location. So right before where it says secret/db, I'm gonna paste what I copied out before, hit save, and reload again. Okay, and then I'm gonna go to pods, and it's starting up. It looks like it killed the old one and is bringing up the new pod, and now it's connected again. So this was a kind of a basic example. I could have gone in and actually changed some of the values in Vault, but that gets sketchy, and I don't want to mess that up. I recommend you don't either, but you can certainly if you choose. Just make sure you remember what you were doing. Great. So then the last part is, well, how did we integrate Vault in the first place? So as this starts up, I'm actually going to go back to the pipeline to the GitLab and go to my project overview. Now I'm still in eStore UI, so I'm gonna go back out to GitLab in the home, and now I'm gonna search for the catalog repo, and if I select into that, I can then find instances of Vault, and then you'll see, voila, here's the same content we were looking at, but you can then explore various locations of how we are integrating the Vault agent, basically doing a sidecar. So we're injecting a container that will interact with our catalog container inside the same pod. And actually in the demo book, I've got a little diagram that you can see that working. Okay, so really the last piece is to viewing eStore in New Relic. And so one of the things we'll do first is we'll open New Relic. Now it might be a very different method of how you're doing it, to how you actually get access to it. I'm going to Open New Relic and select Explorer, and then type in eStore. And then eStore will provide me a number of options that I can view. I'm going to pick this eStore 2. And what it shows is a live view of the eStore application running. Now, to simulate some traffic, you probably have seen in the document. I'm going to bring up my terminal. There's a script I can run, and it's going to run 100 of them. Well, I'll run 10. You can run 100 if you want. And I'm just going to hit the login, and it's just a simple script, and it triggers, and it does a curl for a period of time, however many ones you put in. So in a minute or so, it's gonna come up again. In fact, I might go to 100 and go to 11. But while that's working, let's actually see how we're integrating New Relic into things. And so again, let's go to GitLab, and we're going to go to the GitLab home. This time we're going to be going into the eStore UI. So eStore UI, find that repo, click into it, and then from here I'm going to type in Relic. I guess that'll work. And then here we're going to show how we're integrating New Relic into it. And the demo book talks about it a little bit, but we're basically injecting a jar file into New Relic to capture the application content and then send it to our New Relic instance. And so now that the demo's had a second to run, you might see a little newer blip here, and I could certainly zoom in and see content. I'm not going to do a demo of New Relic itself. You can do that yourself, but I could also see what's the most recent 30 minutes, the most recent 60 minutes, maybe 3 hours, and it's basically going to be showing the content. And here's the beginning of my little blip here of where things are running. Okay, so basically we're done with our self-guided demo, self-paced demo, and what we showed was how you can use OpenShift, how it integrates with GitLab, how we're using a microservices application to actually do builds, how we're using Twistlock to I'll go back to monitor, how we're actually using Twistlock to scan for vulnerabilities in the image and toggling on and off whether to inform or enforce the rule. We showed how we are just pulling in signed certificates, and then we showed how we integrate Vault for secure secrets management, and then finally we showed how we're integrating with New Relic and showing a basic example of how we can trigger traffic. And so in the next, as you start playing with it, you're going to see more and more spikes over time. So that's it. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.